Hey, good morning. Hopefully you did okay yesterday on those functions. Today we're going to kind of shift a little bit to something different. It's called the arithmetic sequence, and I wanted to squeeze this in before your test next week for the state of Arizona, because I'm pretty sure this is going to be on that test. Okay, so hopefully you remember some of this from the first semester when you took this. So here we go, arithmetic sequence. There's a formula that's on my board in my room, but arithmetic sequence is a sequence in which the difference between any two consecutive, so that means one right after the next, terms is constant. Constant means the same. So we can do it by adding, like 2, 4, 6, 8. We're adding 2 to both, is my pattern here. But we could also be going down. We could say 3, I don't know, 0, -3, -6, and we're going down by 6, or down by 3. Sorry, that was supposed to be an easy one. We're going down by 3s. And so we have a pattern here. It can go either way. It can be going up or it can be going down. But the important part on arithmetic sequence means we're adding or subtracting to get our differences versus multiplying, which would be a geometric sequence. So anytime we have, and they'll give us always 3 numbers minimum, we need to see if there's a pattern here of the same number going up or going down by the same number. Okay, we call that a common difference, and usually we say common difference is represented by a lowercase d. So in formulas we try to stay away from d as a variable, okay, unless we're using the arithmetic sequence. Okay, so d is the numerical difference between two consecutive terms. And so this, our d on the first one, would d equals 2. We're going up by 2's up here on my example. And on the second one, my d would be a -3. We need to know this guy here in order to use the arithmetic sequence. Alright, so if they're just asking us if it's an arithmetic sequence, here's what I like to do. I think about going from 1 to 5, and I make a little v here. To get from 1 to 5, I went up by 4. And I put the plus sign there, plus 4. We're going up by 4s. That's kind of important when we use the arithmetic, that we have these signs that we know we're going up by 4. Go up by 4 again. Yep. And go up by 4 again. So, it is a sequence. And my d, because they said, if yes, identify the common difference. My d is a 4. Now, sometimes we're going to get some crazy numbers here that we can't easily do it in our head. And so the way we find the arithmetic sequence is difference. If we want to find the difference, we're going to take the number and subtract the number in front of us. we're going to practice it on the easy ones. If I took 5 minus 1, that'd be 4. If I took 9 minus 5, I get 4. 13 minus 9, I get 4. So when we get some crazy numbers or decimals and you want to find a D, just take the number and subtract the 1 in front of it. Okay? So if I took 3 minus 1, that would be a common difference of 2. 5 minus 3 is 2. 8 minus 5 is 3. So this is not arithmetic sequence. Okay. Oops. Not. Okay. So that's kind of a way. Now this is kind of interesting because we're kind of going down, but if I still did this, 6 take away 8 on my calculator, I'm going to get -2. Okay. If I did 4 minus 6, I'm going to get -2, and if I did 2 minus 4, I get -2. So this one's arithmetic sequence. And my D is a -2. Fix that right there because I misspelled that word. I'm going to fix that. Okay, let's try it. Now on this one, again, if I don't know, looks like I'm going down. I'm going from -5 to -8, from -8 to -11. But sometimes kids don't recognize that. So what I'm going to do in my calculator is I'm going to put -8 minus -5. Or even if I'm not going to use my calculator, it's -8 minus -5, which becomes a +5. So that's going to be a -3. I went down by 3. So most kids can do this in their head, though. I went from -8 to -11. But if you can't, just do -11 minus -8. And I see I went down 3 again here, so arithmetic sequence. And my D is a -3. That's important, especially when we're using the formula. You have the negative sign there. Okay? All right, let's see what we're doing here. Obviously, we're going up. We went from 5 to 10. We just went up 5. Should have put a plus up here. I went to 10 to 20. I just went up 10, so I can stop right there. I don't need any more. If it breaks the rule one time, it's not an arithmetic sequence. Okay. All right, last one here. I went from 7 to 6, so I just went down by 1. I went from 6 to 5, which I also went down by 1. And I went down by 1 again, so this one's arithmetic sequence. And my D is -1. It's important that you put D, because D stands for difference now, and that's what we're going to use in our formula that's coming up here. Okay? All right. Looks like they want us to continue the arithmetic sequence here. So they already told us arithmetic sequence, but we got to see what we're going up by here. So we went from 9 to 13, so I believe that's a +4. 13 plus 4 is 17. 17 plus 4 is 21. Now, this is kind of pretty cool in some calculators, and you might remember this. If you did 9 plus 13 on some calculators, I think the black ones will do this, and when you hit +4 again, I got 20, whoops, it's 9 plus 4, sorry, 9 plus 4, enter, and then I got 13 in my calculator. If I hit +4 again, I get 17. If I hit enter again, I get 21. I hit enter again, I get 25. The calculator remembers the pattern here, so that makes it kind of nice that I can get these guys knocked out in no time at all. How about if I write the right answer there? It says 33. So most calculators will do that. Mine's the green one, and it'll do that. So now I need to know what I'm going up, so I'm going to take 2 minus 5, which would be a minus 3. So I'm going down by 3s, it looks like. I went from 2 down to negative 1, so I went down by 3 again. I went from negative 1, I went down by 3 to get to negative 4. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say 5 minus 3, enter. I got 2 on my calculator, minus 3, enter. I got negative 1, and I want to keep hitting enter. There's my negative 4. Next one's negative 7, negative 10, and negative 13. If the calculator can't do this, not that big of a deal, and probably I wouldn't even use my calculator because I can do negative 4, go down by 3 more, which would be negative 7, go down 3 more. So it's kind of good to do it on the easy ones to see how your calculator works, and then kind of use that as a tool to help you. Now from negative 8 to negative 2, some kids would say we're going down because 8 is smaller than 2, but not really, because on a number line, negative 8 is here, and negative 2 is way up here. So I went up on the number line, because 0 is way up here. I went up, but again, if you wanted to know how much, just put in your calculator, negative 2 minus negative 8, and I went up 6. So again, I like to put these little, if I went up 6 again, yep, I'd be at 4. If I went up 6 again, 4 plus 6 is 10. And I'm not going to use my calculator here, 16. 16 plus 6 would be at 22, and 22 plus 6 is 28. Okay? So sometimes use the calculator, sometimes don't. If you can do it without, accurately, do it without. It's a whole lot faster. Okay. So now we're going to get into this arithmetic sequence. Now on my board over there on the left, you see this, it says a sub n equals a sub 1 plus the number I want minus 1. Normally we do this in our head. So if I want the 28th number, most kids can take. 28 take away 1 is 27. Okay? And times our difference. Now that's the one that's on my board there. The one that these guys like to use on the test and the quiz kind of looks like this. It's the same thing. We'll talk about it. A sub n equals d times the number I want minus 1 plus my a sub 1. Now let's look at this, the difference between the two, because you can still use the one on my board. A sub 1 is right there. Any number plus something, it doesn't matter in addition whether you put the A1 in the front or in the back, as long as we're adding it. So the only difference between the one on my board, which is this one, and the one that they like to use on tests and things like that that's coming up is this guy. They just put the a sub 1 in the back. Okay, no big difference. Okay, so you can still use the formula up there even though it looks slightly different. But the d is my common difference, that's important. And my a sub 1 means the first number in the sequence. So we need those things in either formula. Now, what I don't like about this paper today is they keep saying, hey, find a sub 19. So that means find the 19th number. Okay? But we need two things before we can go and do this arithmetic sequence. We need to find, well, we already know the a sub 1. That's my first number in the sequence. That's 7. But now I got to figure out what my d is. I always need those two things plus the number I want. So I'm going from 7 to 13. I think that's a plus 6. Yep, plus 6. Plus 6. So my d is a 6. So let's use the formula that they have, because that's the way you're probably going to see it. So now I want a sub 19. If they said find the 20th number, that would be an a sub 20, and I'd write a sub 20 there, okay? Equals my d, which is 6, the number I want minus 1, we're going to write it one time here, because hopefully you can do that in your head. 19 take away 1 is 18, so I would say do that part in your head, but for our purpose of writing our formula here, plus a sub 1, which is 7. So there's my d, 6, the number I want minus 1 right there, plus my a sub 1, which is 7. So, got to do parentheses first. This is why I like to do this part in my head. So I got 6 times 18 plus 7. Let's do 6 times 18. It's 108 plus 7. Just hit plus 7. 108 is already in the calculator. So now you must write a sub 19, because that's the number you're telling the reader you found. A sub 19 equals 115. Excuse me. Okay, but we need these two guys every time plus whatever number they want. So for all these examples today, they want a sub 19. I wish they would have mixed it up a little bit, but we'll still be all right. I went from 30 to 26. Most kids can say, hey, you know what? I just went down by 4. That's important. Put the minus. 26 to 22. Yep, went down by 4. Went down by 4. So my a sub 1, that's my first number. I need that. My d is a negative 4. So now I want to look at this formula right here. I want to shorten things up a little bit. I still want a sub 19 equals my difference, which is a negative 4, times the number I want minus 1. 19 take away 1. I'm just going to put an 18 right there. Plus my first number in the sequence. That's why we're minusing 1, is because we got the first number right there already. Okay, so that's why we take away 1 and from the number that we want. All right, let's do this. Negative 4 times 18. Negative 72. I want to leave that in my calculator because I know I'm going to add 30 to it. Excuse me. A sub 19 equals negative 42. I don't know why my 4's always end up being a 9 there. Alright, there we go. Okay, so now flip the paper over. We still don't have that formula. Let's see if you can memorize the formula. If you have it memorized, it's a sub n, that means the number we want, times my difference, the number we want minus 1, plus my a sub 1. Memorize this formula, because when you take that test next week, this is not on the wall. You have to memorize it, okay? And they still want the 19th number here on all 4 of these, okay? All right, let's see what our d is. Got to find our d. So again, I'd take negative 8 minus 11, if you couldn't figure that out. I think I'm going up by 3s though. Yep, nice easy one. I'm going up by 3s. So my a sub 1 is negative 11. I like to write these over here. My d is 3, positive 3. I want the 19th number. My difference is a 3. The number I want minus 1, which is 18, plus my negative 11 there. I would just put minus 11 there. Some of you are already there. Okay, grab that calculator. I got a sub 19 equals 43. Put a box around it so Mrs. Kearns can kind of grade these papers quickly. She's going to be grading for me since you guys are watching videos. Looks like I went up by 2, went up by 2, went up by 2. It has to happen 3 times in order for it to be a pattern. Okay, so my a sub 1 is a negative 2, and my d is a positive 2. I really hate this, that's the same one. The number I want minus 1, so that 18, it's not always 18. So whatever number I want, they just happen to say the 19th number on all of these. And my a sub 1, no, I'm not going to put a plus minus 2. I want to keep my work clean. Plus minus 2 is the same thing as subtracting by 2. Okay? I got 36 minus 2, which I know is 34. Okay, here we go again. Go find me my difference real quick. Let's see, negative 21 minus 16. Instead of just waiting for me, you try it. Negative 26 minus 21. Alright, still 19th number. I wanted to kind of throw it in a different number there, but we'll be okay. Again, that's the number I want, minus 1, really, right there. And my a sub 1 was a minus 16. So again, if you don't have a calculator, this is where your life gets to be a little bit of a challenge. Most of you bring it every day faithfully like you're supposed to. I got negative 9, I'm just going to hit minus 16. I get negative 106. $92 take away 101 would give me that answer real quick. It's a negative 9. 83 take away 92. I get negative 9 as well. 74 minus 83. Negative 9. So my a sub 1 is 101. My d is a negative 9. Let's go. I want a sub 19 minus the number I want, minus 1, plus 101. We're going to have a test this week on Friday. A quiz tomorrow, as a matter of fact. And we're going to have a test on Friday just so that we can get all this function and arithmetic sequence out of the way before the break, because taking a week off. Actually, you know what? You already had the week off. Fisher's making these videos ahead of time. So you already had your week off. So anyhow, we're going to have a test on Friday, and we want to get that test out of the way before we do the state of Arizona test next week. That's what I meant to say. And you're going to take one of them on Tuesday, and then you're going to take the math and science one, I believe, on Thursday. So we want to kind of do on Monday something called a box and whisker graph, because I know that's important to be able to know how to do that. So we want to review that before your test on Thursday. All right. So test coming up this Friday. Quiz, I believe, tomorrow. No, it might be on Thursday. Anyhow, quiz is coming up. Here we go. Let's see what we got. Oh, word problems. Okay, let's wrap this up. We got 2 word problems. You're going to visit the Grand Canyon. You drop a penny off the edge of the cliff. Why would you do that? I don't know. The distance of the penny is 16 feet for the first second. So there's my first number. It went to 16 feet. A second later, it was 48 feet. And the next second after that was 80 feet. So let's go find our differences here real quick. Again, I want to take second number and subtract the number in front of it. 48 minus 16. I'm getting 32. 80 take away 48. I get 32 again. So my a sub 1 is 16. My d is 32. And they said write the formula. Well, they didn't tell us what number to find, so we're just going to write a sub n equals my d, which is 32, times the number I want minus 1, plus, in this case, 16, because that was the first number. Okay, so again, work on memorizing that formula so that now when they say, okay, I want you to find the 6th number, I want to say a sub 6, we call that a sub number, so put it down in the lower right hand corner, is 32 times the number I want minus 1, so I'm just going to automatically put a 5 there because everybody should be able to subtract 1. Number I want minus 1, 6 minus 1 is 5, plus 16. So now I got 32 times 5. plus 6, it's 160 plus 16. I got a sub 6 equals 176. Now, very important, these are word problems. You can't go up to somebody at the Grand Canyon and say, hey, in 6 seconds, a sub 6 is 176 feet. They're going to say, huh? You must answer the question. Have the penny will have traveled 176. I need units, and my units is not seconds, it's feet. They're measuring how many feet. 176 feet in 6 seconds. You need to answer it with words. That would make sense to somebody when you tell them, hey, the penny traveled 176 feet in 6 seconds. Oh, okay. So, can't leave an answer like this on word problems. Kids that had me first semester, they already know. All word problems need the answer in words, answer the question in words, and gotta have the correct units with it. Okay? Very important. These are like worth 4 points each. Okay? Now, total bank loan for Sarah's new car is this much. The bank automatically withdraws. Withdrawals means they're taking money out of the account. So the biggest mistake kids make is that's a negative number right there because you're withdrawing it. Okay? So, my A sub 1 in this case is $15,265. And my D, very important, is a negative 295.80. Okay? So now they want us to write the formula. So A sub n equals my D, which is a minus 295.80, times the number I want minus 1, plus 15,265. There's my formula. Now, they want to know in 2 years. Well, this is automatically every month. So this is where the higher level thinking comes in. You're almost in 10th grade. So they said, well, they want to know how much this is in 2 years. Well, I can't put a 2 in there, find an A sub 2, because that's in years and that's in months. I got to know that there's 12 months in a year. So that would really equal 24 months. Okay. So I want to find A sub 24 because they want to know in 24 months what will it be. Okay, so I'm going to get rid of that. Here's that 4 again. A sub 24. Now I'm just going to leave it. That's a 24. It makes me mad. 295.80. That's my D. The number I want, which is 24 minus 1, so I'm going to automatically put a 23 in there, plus the number, my A sub 1, which is 15,265. All right, so now for sure, grab that calculator. We got to do multiplication before we do addition subtraction. That's a negative 295.80 times 23. So that's a negative $6,803.40 plus 15,265. This number's already in my calculator, so all I'm just going to do is hit 15,265. My calculator is saying, and this is very important, so I'm going to say A sub 29 equals, but you're smart enough now, you've been first or second grade, they taught you, it's 8,000, you need a comma there. 461.6, well our money goes to the hundreds place, so we're going to finish it. It's 0.60, even though my calculator just says 0.6, and my calculator doesn't have a comma there. Now just like I was talking up above, you need to say, in 2 years, the balance will be I mark off a half a point for comma if you don't have a comma there. If you just put 8461, you're not looking like you've been to school. It's a money problem. The dollar sign goes in the front. $8,461.60. Okay? Alright. So they're little two pet peeves because I know you're going to get a job somewhere soon. And if you're writing numbers that are bigger than 999 without a comma, you can't put number signs or dollar signs, probably I'm not going to ask you to come in for an interview. Okay? Alright, little pet peeve of mine. Alright, so now you got some problems here to do. Make sure you read the directions up here. It says it. Tell me whether it's arithmetic sequence. If yes, make sure you write the common difference. Okay, it's worth 2 points each. Alright, and don't skip the word problems. If he's depositing money, that means he's putting money in the bank. When he's going to hand out cups of water, each cup is 4 ounces. So this one here, she's handing out water, so her water amount is going down by 4 ounces. Okay, and they went the 14th cup. Over here they went the 30th a week. Yep, talking about weeks and weeks, so you're good. Alright, get those guys out of the way. Again, don't skip the word problems. Kids are notorious for that. And I hope you have a good day. We'll see you next Monday.